Hey guys, it's Jay, here with another Ordeal video. Today we're going to be taking a look at the antagonists of the first season, which includes the rank 97, Rokash Rampersad. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like and share with others. Without further ado, onto the vid. Before we get into Rokash, let's take a look at his bodyguard. Jonellie is the bodyguard of Rokash, and as his bodyguard, he feels that he should be protected because he sees him as a nuclear deterrent. But I'll explain the reason why that is when I talk about Rokash himself. Jonellie's character isn't inherently antagonistic, as he is seen giving respect to Leo Thomas and the sons he raised, as well as enjoying his fight with Anton and pushing him to improve. He also shows up as a chi spirit when Anton is unconscious during his fight with the Titan General Jirohime, showing the belief in his strength. Jonellie's talent is known as Aquaman, or Devil Parasite, and is a dual type talent of creation and power. He creates a moldable metallic material that protrudes from his body. The metal is a membrane embedded in his body, similar to that of a parasite. Jonellie then shapes the ends of this metal in the form of blades, or wraps them around his arms for another form of bladed combat. He is also able to protect himself or those close by him by forming the metal around himself. Along with protruding the metal from his body, he can also coat himself in it to use it as armor. This armor was able to adapt to the strength of Kong's Pride Fall Staff, as Anton could break the metal when he first initiates his shift. When Jonellie uses this armor, he can then activate a technique known as Aquaman Full Cowl. This form fully covers him in the metal of his armor, giving him added strength and making him the size of buildings. This form could only be overcome when Anton activated the True Staff of Kong. Now let's move on to the man who believes he should be in the God tier. Cass Santiago is a nephew of Rokash and is the reason Leo Thomas is dead, as Leo could not heal himself from the gunshot wound Cass gave him. He is also egotistical and believes he is stronger than Rokash himself. Cass's talent is known as incendiary art and is a creation type talent. He has the ability to arm and detonate his artwork. His tattoos can be used repeatedly after removal, but must be redone after several uses, as removing them causes the ink to fade. Since Cass is covered in tattoos, this means he has a large arsenal at his disposal. With these explosive tattoos, he is able to increase their explosive capacity, as we see him referring to their destructive capabilities as Incendiary Arts Tier 2 and 3. We also see him pour all his chi and tattoos into one singular point that was deemed to be Tier 60, and the attack formed was called Nuclear Moon Hour. This attack was said to have the power of 3 nukes, and the blast radius would have spanned past the city of Port of Spain in Trinidad. Cass can also simply form the tattoos without detonating them, as we see him produce a large skeletal snake creature along with a weapon he used to fight against Azam. Even though his talent is very destructive, he actually has no natural resistance to his explosives. For this very reason, Cass was given a portion of Rokash's talent to reinforce his body. Because of this, Azam and Lewis assumed he had a power type talent, as the defensive aspects of the talent enhance his physicalities. Now let's put the spotlight on today's main focus, the Egyptian Kimyo himself. Rokash was the 97th strongest Kimyo in the world, but before his power and fame, he was a student under Leo Thomas. In a flashback, we get to see a younger Rokash interact with the Thomas family members. After explaining to them that he entered a Kimyo tournament and defeated the members of their rival gym alone, Leo turns away from Rokash, showing disapproval, saying that a gold medal isn't worth the wounds and fatigue he has, nor is it their place to use people weaker than them to uplift themselves. Later that evening, the Thomas residence is attacked by the Shadow, whose true name is Veal Vegizatha. As Leo is facing off against the Shadow, Rokash returns to assist him. He survives the fight against Veal, which is a feat in and of itself. This is why Jonellie considers Rokash a nuclear deterrent, as he, Leo Thomas, and Sabito Hart are the only people at the time to have survived an encounter with him, and who have the potential to stop him, meaning their mere presence is enough to make him halt his plans, with Veal himself acknowledging their strength. Rokash's talent is known as Anu Ankh, and is a talent said to be the protector of the Golden Pharaoh. It is a state type talent with a corrosion based weapon, making it a dual type, and it provides an immense boost to all physical attributes, as well as a high level body armor. This talent grew so much that it was able to be split into 2 separate parts. The body armor is made of pure, unrefined gold, and was able to stop the strikes of Veal from being immediately fatal. As an adult, the armor is strong enough to consistently protect Rokash from Shade's Ilios enhanced strikes, and Andrea's swings of Muramasa. This is the aspect of Anu Ankh that was stored inside of Cass, stating directly that it made him blast-proof. The immense stat boost that comes with Anu Ankh state allowed Rokash to speed blitz not only Tevin while in Lionhide, but Azam, who is a haste type talent talent user. This boost also shows Rokash being able to strike with incredible force, as after being hit or tossed by Rokash, the ground around Tevin and Anton crack and break apart. In the fight against Veal, Rokash makes use of the corrosive nature of his talent. With it, he is able to throw out slashes of corrosive chi. These slashes cut down to the atom and sever the particles of anything it comes into contact with. These slashes let Rokash effortlessly take down multiple titans without being in his state. With this corrosive chi, Rokash has developed two signature techniques. The first is Anu Ankh Burial. This is a technique where Rokash imbues his fist with the corrosive chi and hits his opponent with a barrage of punches. The second is Anu Ankh Impulse. This technique allows Rokash to burst the corrosive chi from his hand through his opponent. This may also have a launching effect as seen when he used it against Veal. When Rokash fully mastered his talent, he became able to use something known as the Pharaoh's Protection Eye. This is something that Rokash can spawn from the ground even in a lesser form of his state that shoots large beams of corrosive chi. When Rokash is in his full state, these eyes become his first line of defense as they are connected to an invisible pyramid beneath him. Wherever Rokash places his foot becomes this pyramid, and when it senses danger within 1,000 square feet of him, it summons the eyes. The eyes not only blast beams of corrosive chi, but can be used as a means of physical attack, as Rokash clad a bunch of them together to attack Shay, and also had them wrapped around Lewis to hold him up. Rokash can then fully manifest the pyramid with a technique known as Pharaoh's Tomb, where the protection eyes fully line the walls of the pyramid. Anu Ankh also comes with an animalistic side to it, as an older Leo mentions this, saying it makes Rokash jest and grin. We see this side of Rokash when he is attacked by Titan assassins. He clearly enjoys the combat, but more specifically because he can toy with his opponents. This side of him led to the death of a fellow gym member known as Jacob Kim Lee, when Rokash ended his life in their match. After this death, Rokash left the Red Ember Gym and hadn't been back since. It should also be noted that Rokash hid the true nature of Anu Ankh, as if exposed, it'd immediately be deemed illegal, which would send Rokash to Patmos. Rokash entered the top 150 by mastering the state side of his talent and concealing its corrosive nature. Inspector Ian Anthony Hoff says it's unclear what his actual rank would have been, but at the bare minimum, he'd be at least top 50. And that's all you need to know about Rokash Rampersad, the Egyptian Kimyo. However, this isn't the last you'll be seeing of him on the channel, as I want to do a character comparison of him and Shay, as they share a few similarities throughout the series. But if you feel like I missed anything else or have any questions, leave them in the comments. And let me know, where does Rokash rank in your list of favorite characters? Next video, I'll be explaining Veal Vegizatha.